Could XRP hit $12 in the future, or is it potentially going to zero? Well, we're going to be taking a look at a few points that people are talking about. In particular, the LBRY case, which was a securities crypto case that lost their battle with the SEC. We're definitely going to be taking a look at Bitcoin Magazine and what is Gary Gensler saying, and equally, Tom Emmer is very vocal about what should happen to Gary Gensler. All of that in this video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if that's the sort of thing you like, and let's dive into it. So taking a look currently at the market. Now, we did get a reasonably positive sentiment out of the Fed on the back of a great CPI data yesterday, and we saw the market move quite significantly over the last 24 hours. Now, we did see this move even further, but it wasn't until about 10 minutes before we got to the FOMC discussion from Jerome Powell that we saw a pretty big sell-off. Now, we have been moving back up since then, but look, the market 866.86 billion, 0.27% down on the 24-hour. Bitcoin 17A, ETH 1311, and the one we're interested in this video, XRP, again, still the sixth highest cryptocurrency out there. 38.49 is the current price. $906 million in volume, is down on yesterday. If you remember, we had a significant move in XRP yesterday, and $19.4 billion on the market cap. Now, taking a look at exactly what's going on, and we're going to come back to the chart in a minute, but this was a Securities and Exchange Commission trial in which the LBRY incorporated against the SEC, and ultimately they did lose this. So now we can go to the back, which gives us the outcome. And it says here, excuse me, towards the back, the first claim for release, the unregistered offering of securities, says paragraph 1 through 42 above are realigned and incorporated by reference as if they are fully set forth herein. Though the conduct described above, LBRY directly or indirectly made use of the means of instruments of transportation or communication in interstate commerce, or the means to sell through the means of medium or prospective otherwise securities as to which no registration statement has been in effect, and or B, made use of the means of instruments of transportation and communication in interstate commerce, or the mails to offer to sell through the use of medium or prospective or otherwise securities as to which no registration statement has been filed. As a result of the conduct described above, LBRY violated Section 5A and C of the Securities Act 15 USC 77. So they did actually lose this case. Now, you've got to take this into context. It doesn't necessarily mean that XRP is in the same boat, but what it does mean is that the SEC were pretty refined in how they do it. Now, I do think the XRP case is different to this one, and again, I think this is going back some time now, but again, this is very, very different as we kind of talk through it. But it talks this one particularly around 2016 is when the LBRY case was put there. Again, it didn't have the same sentiment that XRP had. It didn't have the backing that XRP had, and I think crypto was in a very different place back in 2016. But again, they did lose the case. Now, what does that mean in terms of Gary Gensler? Well, Gary Gensler's come out, as you would expect, with all the noise with FTX, saying just in the SEC chair, we are ready to take action against other crypto companies violating US securities law. Now, that is, in my opinion, an absolute dig at XRP. It's a real key sentiment in terms of what Gary Gensler wants to do, and if anything, maybe misplaced in the weakness of cryptocurrency right now, taking that for people, moving away from it. Whereas actually, I think within the core values of cryptocurrency, we are getting stronger and stronger. So the main concern with Binance, which again is another point where what Gary Gensler's kind of talking about, and these big exchanges on the back of FTX, that they're talking about controls and equally controls of assets, and it's whether it's clear or not liabilities under the user assets. So again, important to reference that, but Gary Gensler kind of jumping on the bandwagon and trying to make a different point. Well, what does that kind of look like from Tom Emmer? Now, Tom Emmer has been supporting with the XRP case and ultimately is a lawyer that's gone through this. You can see there is the 33rd chair of the SEC, governor committed to investor protection, fair markets and capital formation. And this is interesting. It says, so at Gary Gensler knows that FTX was fraudulent from its inception. This is egregious considering he had more meetings with Bankman-Fried than anyone in the space to discuss a crypto regulatory framework designed to benefit FTX alone. He will be held accountable. Now, it's really important to think about that. So Gary Gensler had more meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried in how they can develop a cryptocurrency exchange, and actually a new type of exchange that ultimately is afforded some levy from the Securities Commission, and equally then allows the Securities Commission to govern what that looks like. And we know, and it's documented, and there is evidence of Gary Gensler meeting up with Sam Bankman-Fried. So there's a real question mark here over Gary Gensler's legitimacy and ultimately his desire to legalize and, to hold cryptocurrencies as securities. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Taking all that into account, the fact that Gary Gensler, well, what does that mean for XRP? Well, do you know what? It kind of feels okay at the minute. We're at 38 cents, like we said, on the dollar. Now, there is rumours we could get an announcement on the back of the case tomorrow, but I'm not sure we are going to see it. Now, what we did see is not a big change in terms of the CPI data release, and ultimately we can see on the 21-day simple moving average that we are duly finding support and resistance on these trend lines. So you can see I've drawn these 5 trend lines, five resistance and support lines on here, where we can see we've used it as a number. We are just testing this kind of 39 level here, which if we break through, we could see. Now we are moving in an upward trend, which is always positive to see, but we kind of are fizzing between kind of 38 and 39 and kind of see what happens. But similar to ETH and Bitcoin, there is a kind of correlation between these risk assets, but we'll kind of see. But we are slowly moving up in the market, and ultimately the signs are that XRP could go either way. We could see a pretty big drop off depending on where this court case goes, and equally if we get an announcement, equally we could see it move up furthermore. Now, the couple of things that could happen: if Gary Gensler is on his way out as per Tom Emmer's tweet, then we could see a new SEC governor that could really kind of embrace crypto. We actually saw it in the court case in the trial that was going on yesterday, where people were talking in favor of digital assets but having some level of regulation, which we've all talked about on the channel. If we get that news, Ripple could pioneer that. We already know that it's partnered up with some big institutional banking firms and could really start to see XRP move up into the right direction. But it's going to be an interesting one. Again, we all anticipate this court case and see what comes out of it. But XRP, well, it's certainly a bag I'm keeping very, very close to my chest, as I think we are in for some pretty interesting moves with XRP. It all, though, however, relies on Gary Gensler and the overwhelming court case with the SEC. But let me know in the comments down below, what's your price prediction for XRP? Definitely interesting to see where the court case goes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.